Come on up, Kristin and Mark. Give it up for them. Let's go.
So what we wanted to start with was Google My Business, because that's what we're talking about, because it's your storefront. And like when people, whether you're in Canada, whether you're in the United States, whether you're in Europe, wherever, it's people Google what they're searching for. So if you want to order pizza tonight, what are you going to do? If you want to order a plumber, what are you going to do? So it's the same thing with us, with real estate and everything else. So in the United States, this is what's going to come up. And for years, we've been trying to figure out how to get to the map pack, which is that bottom part there. But we were like, why? Like, why is this being clicked? So finally, there was a study. It was a focus group. So you know what a focus group is? Like if they want to test, hey, we've got a new chicken sandwich at Burger King. Let's bring in 100 people. Let's taste the chicken sandwich and do it. Well, they did a focus group online when people search for injury attorneys. The question was, you get in, and so they've tracked it. So it was like, okay, injury attorneys. And injury attorneys in the United States look exactly the same. And what every one of them did, they go, the first part, which is the local service ads, they scrolled right past it. Oh, I think those are ads. I'm not sure what they are. They went to the next one, which was an ad. You see the next one down above the map is actually an ad. They go, oh, that's an ad. They scrolled right past it, which actually led them to the map pack, the picture of the map, and then the Google My Businesses that show up. Every single one of them would click it. They would click View All, or they would click one of the three in there. So that's what we want to talk about, is how to get into the search criteria of where it is, and then how to make you stand out to it.
Now, let me just ask a question. How many of you, when you guys do a Google search, go right to the map pack to look it up? Just raise your hand high. You guys know what we're talking about, right? That little map pack, those 3 people that show up, and then you can click it, and it goes review more. Everybody? Does everybody do that? I mean, that's what you do. So how can you be there, right? Wouldn't you love to be at the top of that? That's where we are all the time.
So a couple things that will help you do it. Complete your Google My Business. That's what we talk about. Be meticulous, post daily, post products, etc. Your information needs to be complete about what to do it. That's the basic steps of it to get it. You want to get reviews. So one of the focus group things that tipped us, that kind of, when I was watching it, that I found interesting, is they all said, well, let me go look at the reviews. And it wasn't necessarily that you had 500. It wasn't that you had 1,000. It was like, do you have any? And then let me go and read them. So they would go and check them, and then what they a lot of times did was the worst one. So they would go and read the worst one, which is
exactly what I do. When I see a bad review, it's exactly what I do is I go and read it, and I see what it says, and then I'll go to another bad review and see if it's the same kind of saying the same thing. So like if it's a hotel, for example, and it says dirty, and then it goes dirty again.
That's the number one thing. Just so you know, for hotels, that's the number one thing is people check is it dirty? So with it, so like for a real estate, they're going to like, was the customer service good, was whatever else, but they always go and look, most of them go and look at the bad reviews first. So that's why we tell you you've got to respond to all the reviews, because how you respond is actually important to them.
Well, and the thing is if it's, you guys, so many people get caught up on that one bad review, like we have one, and it was another realtor, and she just gave us a 1, but she didn't comment on it. People don't, and you probably think about it yourself, you don't really pay attention if nobody commented because they didn't even say what happened, right? Because we know that thing anyways. So you have to respond to the bad reviews, and even if you take it offline, it's okay. I am so sorry, you know, let me reach out to you to discuss whatever it is. It's the way you handle that review is what people are looking for.
So then on your posts, you want to always make offers. So, I mean, obviously you want to congratulate, you know, your team, congratulations, Mr. OSA, you had 8 closings this month. Like, you always want to do that. So it shows them that you're actually selling houses. But you want to continue to make offers on there. And then also the products. So the products are important in terms of, that's where it's going to show up at the top. So it's
just use all the Craig Proctor stuff, guys. It's already there for you.
And then pictures. So the pictures won't actually help you get found better. It doesn't help the search. It doesn't do anything else. But what they found is people who have over 100 images, so what it is people are looking at them. So if you have over 100 images, it's clicked 500 and some times. Now this was done by a group that not necessarily real estate, they did all companies and found that it was, so that's a huge difference. So you've got to add pictures to it. What was the other thing? So hyperlocal, just the animation. So in the products, we add animation to them. We've found that the clicking's been more with them. So what we're talking about in products, when you go down, you can put an actual animation, and there's a way to change it. But if you point it somewhere, it's causing them to click. So because you can't get them to go anywhere unless they click. So if they just stay at your Google My Business page, maybe they'll call you, which is good. But then we don't know if they go anywhere.
Well, and it's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, they think animation is kind of tacky or whatever, but the studies show that 300% more people will click on it because of some type of animation. So this isn't a Kristin and Mark, this is an actual, studies that, so put some type of animation.
And it's directing them somewhere. So the key with the animation is always direct them somewhere where they find it, down or to the left, like whatever. You want it, something to make them actually click.
Now guys, this part of Google My Business and setting it up, we've done multiple things on it and showed you exactly how to optimize it. We're not getting into that today. So on the Platinum on the Platinum coaching page, there's tons of stuff to show you exactly how to set up your Google My Business if you don't have it. Also, if you have a brokerage and a team, setting up 2 of them, we talk about it. That's not what we're getting. We're getting to the new stuff that you should be doing, okay? So go back and watch those.
The Google My Business is gonna ultimately help with the local SEO because that's how people find you. So everybody thinks SEO big, but I don't care about selling a house in Toronto, Canada. Like,
now, I paid for SEO. We paid for SEO. A joke, right? SEO's a joke. Does it work? Does it not work? Whatever. Guys, if you have a business where you meet people, you need to worry about local SEO. You need to worry about it.
Because how are they going to find you? So in the Google My Business local SEO, how do they find you? Location is one of the top things. The title is up there, and then your categories. So we talk about that. Like we've talked about that before, the categories. Like don't just have real estate agents in the categories. Have real estate agents, have real estate agency, real estate consultant, everything that has to do with real estate. So in Canada, yours are slightly different, but you have more than one that's different than real estate.
But the thing is for local SEO, to get into that map pack, 35% is the activity that you have on Google My Business. So all of local SEO, don't go hire somebody. It's actually stuff you guys it's not hard. You guys just have to think about it. Local SEO is so important for each and every one of you in here. And it's all talking about literally starting with your Google My Business and making sure it's running properly and that you're doing enough of it.
So when they talk about marking off attributes, like if it's women-owned, et cetera, so Google gives you all these attributes. They're constantly updating the attributes. If it's your business, mark it off in case people actually search for that because Google's finding it, and if Google's giving it to you, just do it. So if it's your business, click it off. Women-owned is actually the one that they promote all the time. Like they're always. So that's a good one to do that too. Also answer questions. If you don't have questions, so you guys know what questions are on your Google My Business. We've gone over that before down there at the bottom. So you need to answer them. If you don't have any, you better ask a question because I guarantee there's a question that you're asked all the time.
Have somebody on your team just go on there and ask the question. It's huge, guys. So they just go on under questions on Google My Business, and whatever questions that you guys get asked the most, have people go in there and just ask those questions. That's what people are looking at. They're looking at your Google My Business, the questions you're answering. It's huge, guys. It's easy. The stuff we're talking about is not that hard.
Because you guys you guys all go back, I assume everybody, because we've talked that this has been covered millions of times, is everybody goes into their insights at least once a day on Google My Business, right?
Raise your hand if you do.
Yes. Okay, not very many, but at least once a week.
Raise your hand once a week.
So that's a basic thing. Google's giving you the stats of where everything's coming. They're saying, hey, you've had 8 phone calls this week. And you're like, well, what happened with them? Because I'm telling you right now, people are not calling real estate agencies just to chat. Like I was talking to somebody, I think it was Keller, and I said, when's the last time you went on Google, typed in order a pizza, and then didn't order the pizza when you clicked the Google to call?
Now Keller is one that's killing it, guys. Since we've showed him how to do all this, Keller, where are you? How much money are you making?
Keller now goes all over the state of South Carolina.
Yep. Yeah, Hugo. 6 listings in the last 2 months. Give him a hand. Guys, I hear this every day. Every day I hear this. I started coaching somebody in Atlanta, you Atlanta people, and he just started coaching. He's a big agent, James Bruni, okay? And he just started coaching, and he closed $2.1 million. I said, that just paid for your coaching for 3 years. Literally, within signing up and coaching with me, literally within a month, he closed $2.1 million. Guys, I'm telling you, it's you. You got to figure this out. It's free. It's free. That's what kills me.
Yeah, you just got to get in the game. So that's the whole thing, is Google's getting you in the game and getting you at bats. So the other thing is I didn't realize this is a big deal, but did you guys all have your messaging set up? Because not everybody is going to call you. So it's a simple button. You turn it on or off. Like, turn on your messaging. It's a simple way to do it. Obviously, maintain your business profile, keeping everything up to date, communicating with people. Pay attention to the results. That's what we're talking about with the analytics. Are you actually paying attention? And stay on top.
You guys have assistants and you aren't paying attention, make them send it to you every week. Minimum. Somebody on your team send it to you. That will help you so much in what you guys need to focus on.
So then again, we're talking about the call to action, making offers on it, etc. The image, so what we don't like is when you do a post and you have words on there or something else and they're cut off. So have you guys ever gone to look at that at the bottom because they have to actually click it to see the whole screen? Like, that's what we want to try to avoid. So like the ideal image they give you is whatever, 1200 by 900. I have no idea what that means, but that's what they say.
So it doesn't cut off anything. When they're looking at your Google My Business, you don't want to have it. You want it to where it shows right away the picture. And you don't want to use stock pictures. No, no, no. And you don't want to geotag. None of those. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we talked about a little bit this. You make sure your elements don't get cropped out. That's what we were talking about. We talked about earlier the questions and answers. Make sure that they're all answered. It's free. You don't want a competitor answering your questions for you, because those questions anybody can answer.
Yeah.
So
how does that make you look?
And the other thing is, if they click like, Google will actually, if they get enough likes, Google will actually make it show up as part of your Google My Business. So that's what you want to pay attention to. URLs, yeah, just talking about stuff to filter.
Also, when you guys are getting reviews, now they took 20 reviews away from us over a couple months. Craig, they took 25 or something. They do that, and because it's a bot that's doing it, okay? The one thing that you guys need to do more of, so if you're like giving other realtors, and if you would go on and we'll show you at the end to give us a review and just say, Kristin Coach or whatever, or I give referrals or whatever try to put in pictures and stories, okay, in that review. So don't just give somebody a 5-star review, but say, you know what, so-and-so is whatever they are. Try to make sure that you're getting good. Also in your reviews, if you can write them for people and put in keywords that you want to be ranked for. So if you want to be ranked for something like Boca Raton, I'm going to have them be putting Boca Raton. I bought a house through Kristin in Boca Raton, Florida. Okay? So put in your reviews what you want to, makes sense, right? So have them be putting what you want to be ranked for.
So this talks about basically 50% of all searches done on Google have a local intent, which means they're looking in your area, which is what we're talking about with Google My Business and ranking in it. So they're not looking, if I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, I'm not looking for an agent in Garden Grove, California. So it's the same thing, and it's about 50%, it's slightly less. Everybody looks up the map, so they're always looking at where you're at location-wise. Are you close to me? So if you have an actual physical office, that's always one of the key indicators. Use small amounts of text.
On your images. So on your images, you know how you can put like a whole paragraph. You just want to use less. Less is more.
Try not to use stock photos. Try to use your own photos. You guys we all get 100 pictures on every listing. It's like, try not to use those.
What they do is Google is looking for non-stock photos.
Yeah, and so you can actually change we talked about that before, how to get your photo that you want to show up as part of your profile, where you go back into the website that they give you and change the cover photo and that, and then it changes the photo. So we've talked about that, but you always want to make sure, because Google will change it just randomly. They'll put a photo, they're like, it's somebody's bathroom, and you're like, I don't remodel bathrooms. So that's something you want to check. And everything else that goes with it. Oops, went too far. Don't geotag your photos. Like,
I used to want to do that because I thought.
She sent me a thing. So
No, I've seen it many places that says geotag your photos. But man, after we did our research and training and everything, do not geotag.
So there's a couple things with that. Is one, your location is right there. How much are you going to geotag it? Like, you're going to put, oh, I sit at this desk at 123 Main Street. Like, you're not tagging it. Second thing is Google cleans it, so they take it all off anyway. So there's no need to tag it. That if you do add them to photos, you do need to tag them on your website. So you do need to do that on your website. But this is talking about Google My Business. You always want to measure everything that comes through your clicks. So if you have offers on there, you need UTM codes. Google allows you to do it for free.
On each one.
Each one, where it tells you through Google Analytics on your website, hey, you had 10 people yesterday click this. Okay, so then that shows you what people are actually.
You can go see the action.
So because you want to track what people are doing. So you can see the analytics of, I've had 2,000 people visit this month. But what did they do to do it? So that's why you want to tag, like you want to use a UTM tag for every one of your links. So, your home sold guaranteed realty.com, whatever you decide whatever it is.
Now, a lot of people ask us, hey, do you teach your virtual assistants this? Guys, everything that we do on stage is taught to our virtual assistants, but you have to tell them what you want them to do. They're not going to just go and do stuff. And then they always come back to us and get help, okay?
Yeah, this just talks about the subtle animation, the simplest way, and how to do it. So that's what we were talking about in the product section of how to make it move. This is your local SEO. It's every SEO company. So this is an interesting part. So we were talking about SEO. The SEO companies, you know that 99% of them, their number one source of income is
Google My Business.
Google My Business for companies.
You can hire a company for like $600 just to do your Google My Business. Well, that's a lot of money for the stuff that we're showing you. I mean, that is a lot, but that's their number one.
You always want to check your Google My Business, anything that's updated, because they update things, they make offers, etc. Review your insights weekly and add photos, and you got to feed it. So that's what we're talking about, feeding it. They want to see. So if you go to a restaurant and they haven't posted a picture in 3 years, are you going to do it? If there hasn't been a review, what are you going to do?
Well, just like for local SEO, one of the things take pictures of you at restaurants in your local area. They love that. Get backlinks. I know that you guys sponsor, right? You should be on all those websites where they're backlinking you, and you need to ask. So if you're with Women's Council of Realtors or BNI, or you have sponsorships, Chamber of Commerce, all those should be linking back to your websites, which is all giving you your local SEO. It kills it on that. It's not hard, you guys. Also, if you guys are doing blogging, let's say you do one a week, half of it for local SEO, half of it should be on the local business. So it should be on your local community, what you're giving, the different types of things that you're doing. Half of your blog should be on that, and then half should be on real estate, okay? All of that's what happens. It's just thinking a little differently.
Oh, didn't speak on it. That's just like an example of an insight. So a picture of an insight from your Google My Business, what you're actually going to see. So you can see, photos. Ask your customers to leave a review if they have a picture. Ask them to include that.
This is a checklist for you guys, so you can just go to this checklist.
Yep.
You do.
Yep. So bing, bong, bong. So you can go leave a review, respond to all the reviews, post your user's profile, helps with rankings, add new services and products to your profile. And then the other thing is you guys need to have, we use CallRail. You need to use.
Who uses CallRail in here? The best $45 you'll ever spend. Check it out.
So your number so Google My Business, it allows you to have two numbers, because I know you guys are all concerned with NAP, name, address, phone number. You want it to be the same. But you can actually slide your main number, which matches everything down so it's not seen, and then you can put a tracking number, whether you use CallRail, whether you use any other service that does it. But we find that Google doesn't track all your phone calls. So in Google My Business, they'll give you that option where you can say, I want to be a part of this beta test, all the calls that come in. Well, they're not catching them all. So like if somebody hits the button, call you, whatever else. Or what Google My Business doesn't else track is, what if somebody's sitting at a desktop and they type the phone number in? Where did that come from?
Yep. CallRail is the key, guys. You got to use CallRail for all your marketing, each piece, and especially Google My Business. Go ahead.
We also use it for local service ads, as you can see. We were going to talk about that. Oh, wrong way. This is where they talk about the feature with the call history. So that's what they do, see who's calling you. But we found you're missing some. Your daily call. So like the good news is they tell you, hey.
Yeah, you missed or you answered. This Lino, this is where you got to go right here. No, it says how many you miss or how many you answer. That's a huge one.
Yeah, so for the HyperLexio, what we're talking about is the proximity. So that's why when we're talking about Boca Raton, you don't want to find it Toronto. Relevance, is it the best match? Google's guessing you're the best match. Obviously, if you're looking for a real estate agent, they're not going to give you a bakery. And then prominence, how well known, cited, that's where we talk about that stuff. You can actually do calls with Google My Business. They're $39. And then that's support help. So if you ever wanted to do it, I'll be honest, they're hit or miss on the $39.
But if you get a good one, you get a really good one.
If they're good, they're worth every penny. So they're amazing. If they're so-so, yeah, you're not going to do it. But that's just the kind of the thing with them. This is a checklist reminder.
You don't need to go through that. That's just for you guys.